We have factoring polynomials. It's called rational expressions. I'm going to call this dividing polynomials. It's just simple that way. Alright, so dividing polynomials. The hardest thing about this is understanding the first thing. You cannot divide by a zero. Okay? You cannot divide by zero. That means I'm dividing this, right? That whole thing cannot be zero. Also, this cannot be zero. So none of this can be zero. None of it. Okay? So that's the first thing I do is circle what cannot be zero. Okay? Now the next thing I do is I rewrite it. I'm going to rewrite it so that it's easier for me to do. Actually, no, the first thing I'll do, the second thing I'll do is factor it. Then I'll go to rewrite it. That'll make more sense. Okay, so factor this. By-step method, right? First step, GCF, right? Hey guys, GCF, right? But there is no GCF, right? And so I go to the second step, which is parentheses star variable, right? But there is no star. If there's no star, then there is no star cleanup. So what you'll see with these that just have the x squares and nothing out front, right, is that they're going to be a three-color method, three-step method, right? So you're just going to be doing this parentheses, right? And then the variable, yep, right? And then we work on to signs. Third step is signs. This is just right back to on your last test when we did factoring. Right? And so this comes up here. This tells me that these are different. Right? So that means that this is a plus, this has to be a minus. Okay? And that's signs. And then we've got, should we go with brown? Step 4 is product and sum. So my product is the first times the last, which is 6. And my sum is the middle, which is 1. Okay? And what I'm doing in the sum, I'm subtracting. So I need two numbers that multiply to be 6 but subtract to be 1. 3 and 2. So I plug in 3 and 2. I'm good. Okay? And now I do the same thing over here. So now I'm going to go parentheses, x, x. I'm going to take my signs, bring my sign up, that's minus. This tells me that these are the same, so this has to be minus.
Wait, so do we do this to all of them? Like all the...
Yeah, all the triples, all the trinomials. Yeah, it's fun stuff. So, you'll be fine. I made it easy for you. I only have 2 trinomials.
I learned that method one day, and it helped me ever since.
And the cool part too is that I made them really easy. They're just 3-step methods. So it's always going to be x and x, and then you just do your signs, and then we do our product and sum. So what's our product? 3 times 1 is 3, and our sum, the middle number, is 4, right? And so, and what am I doing in the sum? I'm adding. So I need to know what multiplies to be 3, but they add to be 4.
Huh?
What multiplies to be 3, but it adds to be 4?
I thought 3 is a prime.
It is.
3 times.
3 times 1. Yeah. So 3 times 1 and 3 plus 1, right? And so it's 3 and 1. Okay. This is the hard part. I'm going to rewrite this. So I got x plus 3 times x minus 2, right? All over x plus 3. Okay? And then instead of writing the divide, I'm going to write times. Because when we divide a fraction, we flip it and multiply it, right? So I'm going to flip this, right? So that I have x plus 6 and x minus 3 on the top. And this x minus 3 and x minus 1 on the bottom. Okay? And then do you remember what the x's can't be? Right? Do you remember what the can't be 0? This can't be 0, this can't be 0, this can't be 0, this can't be 0, and this can't be 0. And we can figure that out really easy. What would make this go to 0? What do I add to 3 to give me 0? Negative 3. What do I add to 6 to give me 0?
Negative 6.
What do I add to negative 3 to give me 0?
Plus 3.
What do I add to negative 3 to give me 0?
3, and then 1.
And 1. Good. Bam! It's that easy. Those are what x can't be. Alright? So x cannot equal negative 6, negative 3, 3, and 1. That's the easy part. Here's the other easy part. Whatever is alike on the bottom and the top, I get to cancel out. Whatever is alike on the bottom and the top, I get to cancel out. So that means that I'm left with x minus 2 times x plus 6 over x minus 1. And the reason I squeezed it in there...
Is that the answer?
Almost. I wish it could be. I wish it could be. But everybody on the block's got to get the paper. We've got to put them back together. So this is x squared. This is plus 6x. This is minus 2x. This is minus 12. Right? These come together to give me plus 4x. So now my final answer is x squared plus 4x minus 12 divided by x minus 1. Whereas x cannot be negative 6, negative 3, 3 and 1. What? Question? That is the hardest one we have. Now starting with the hardest one always